This is my full review of the RYET AliExpress carbon wheel set. So let's get into it. First of all, guys, I want to apologise. I haven't done a cycling video recently. I've just been so busy touring, producing, running a record label. And if you're into music, which I think you are, you can find my record label Spotify playlist in the description below. But anyway, enough of that. This is the RYET wheels full review. I'm going to start with the negatives and then go on to the positives. And then towards the end of the video, I'm going to recommend if you buy these wheels set or not. Okay, so negative number one. Negative number one is aesthetics. They're not the best looking wheels on the market. They're pretty basic, and there's no fancy logos. The finish isn't the best. But you know, for £200, they're not going to spend a lot of time and effort trying to make a nice looking wheel. But yeah, so they're just quite basic. The finish isn't the best, but you know, what can you do? Negative number two. The brake surface, no matter how many times I clean the brake surface, no matter how many times I clean my brakes, after about 50-60 kilometers or so, they start to squeak. And I've tried numerous things to try and make them stop squeaking, but on the brake pads I have, they just tend to squeak after about 60 kilometers or so. You can almost kind of hear them get into that stage where they're going to make the noise, you know. Negative number three. So talking about the brake surface, the brake surface isn't the best, especially in wet conditions. It takes you a while to come to a stop. It would have been nice to have seen some ridges so the water can escape. But I actually think they have that in some other wheels and some other wheel sets. So if you are thinking to buy these wheels, maybe look at those ones instead, because the braking on these isn't the best, and they're not that good, if I'm going to be honest, especially if you're going to be riding in wet conditions. Negative number four, there's no rubber sealant on the end caps. So basically all kinds of crap can get in, like dirt and water and things like that. And especially if you're going to be riding in wet conditions, that's the last thing you need. So RYET, if you're watching, make some rubber sealants so crap doesn't get inside of the bearings. And especially if you order the ceramic bearing ones, you're going to be taking them off and cleaning them quite often. Since I've ridden them, I think I've cleaned them 4 or 5 times because crap keeps getting inside. So yeah, that's one thing to keep an eye out. So that leads me on to negative number 5, and more of a recommendation if you are thinking to buy these wheels. I'd recommend taking the end caps off, cleaning them, degrease, and then re-lube. So because they don't come very well lubed as soon as you receive them from the factory. So I didn't know that. So after 3 rides, my rear wheel and the hub wasn't making the same noise as what it normally was. And I took it to a bike shop and they said, yeah, there's nothing wrong with the wheels, But it turns out there was. So I had to take off the hub, and grease actually got inside one of the hubs, and grease got caught on one of the springs on the free hub. So it wasn't making the same noise, so I had to take that out, clean it. God knows how it got inside. It got inside because there was no rubber sealants protecting it as well. So yeah, I would recommend taking off the caps, clean, degrease, and re-lube, and then you're good to go. So I've done that, and they run really great now, and they run really smooth. So one recommendation for you. So positive number 1, these wheels are cheap. These wheels are really cheap. But don't be misguided by that. Basically, the performance of these wheels is incredible. And these babies absolutely fly. When you're going downhill or you're on a flat road, they just want to take off. And they're so smooth with the ceramic bearings inside as well. And they have bladed spokes. And they're £200. And so the performance of these wheels is top notch, really. You can't really fault them. They're very similar to the DT Swiss wheels, Vision wheel set, and also the Mavic wheel set as well. Positive number 2, these wheels are light, really light. I did an unboxing and a weighing as well, which you can look in the top right. I'll put a link in there where I weighed them and did an unboxing and things like that. And to say how much they only cost £200, this wheel set is really light, and they're responsive as well. So yeah, £200, light wheel set, can't go wrong. Positive number 3, these wheels spin for absolutely ages, especially with the ceramic bearings. Let me show you a video which I recorded of just how long these wheels spin for. Positive number 4. These wheels are tubeless and clincher compatible, which is great. So let's be honest, as you're probably well aware, tubeless isn't the cheapest in the world, especially when it comes to setting it up, buying the right tyres and stuff. So the fact they can offer clincher and tubeless setups, for me, is a positive. Positive number 5. These wheels are still running true after 5,000 plus kilometres. I thought they wouldn't be, but they still are. So I'm impressed with them, that the fact that I've gone that far and they're still running true goes to show you that the wheels are actually quite well built. So, most important topic, would I recommend this wheel set? I'm going to say yes and no, and I'm going to start with no. If you don't know how to service wheels, you don't know how to clean them and look after them and stuff like that, you're going to find yourself going to the bike shop quite often, because they do need to be serviced and cleaned quite often. Just in terms of going back and forth to the bike shop and stuff, it's going to cost you quite a lot of money, and it wouldn't be really cost effective. So you're probably better off going for a different brand that have more longevity and less maintenance that you'll need to look after them, you know. Also, another reason not to recommend these wheels is the braking. They're not the best when it comes to braking, and especially in wet conditions, it does take a while to stop. You find yourself pressing the levers quite far in advance if you want to come to a full stop. So if you are looking for kind of like sharp brakes, especially if you're going to be in the city and you need to stop quickly and stuff, I wouldn't recommend this wheel set. Another reason I wouldn't recommend these wheels is the aesthetics. They're not the best looking wheel set in the world, like I previously said. There's no like flashy logos and stuff like that. So if you're someone who likes nice finished wheels, nice beautiful looking wheel set, then I wouldn't recommend these wheels, because as you can see, they're quite basic and their finish isn't the best either. And why I would recommend them: if you're not bothered about aesthetics and braking power like I am, and you want yourself a cheap good pair of wheels, then I would recommend them, because their performance is great, and especially for the price and the fact they're still running true after 5,000 kilometres. You can't really fault them. So yeah, if you're not bothered about braking like I am, and you're not really bothered about aesthetics, then yeah, I would recommend them. They are light, fast and cheap, and they actually perform better than some of the wheels I've previously ridden on as well, which cost 3 times as much, 4 times as much, and these wheels actually outperform them. So yeah, I would recommend them for that. Would I race on these wheels? No. Would I use them when it's pissing down with rain and getting absolutely drenched? No. But for the price, the performance is great. These are great for long weekend rides when it's dry conditions. They're great if you're commuting. They're great if you just want to go a bit faster and you want to build up your average speed. For the price and the performance, these wheels are great. So for me, the positives actually outweigh the negatives. The fact I can service them myself, and the fact I can clean them and maintain them. So that's some of the reasons why I would recommend them. So if you like this video, don't forget to click and subscribe. And on the next video, I'm going to be doing the Sensei Empire Pro 12 speed review. Whew, I've had some issues with that group set, I tell you. But I've also found an issue to what everyone was having. So yeah, don't forget to click, like, subscribe, all that jazz. And I'll see you on the next video.